metres. 11:20 set by Raylene Boyle in 1968. The Victorian country record of 11:68 set in 2025 by Grace Crow. And the World Under 20 qualifier, World Under 20 record of 11:78. Introducing your competitors for Heat 1 of 4 in the women's under 20 100 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Essendon, Miranda Gaspy. In 3 from Mornington, it's Olivia Ponchard. In 4 from ACT, it's Aisha Shave. In 5 from Diamond Valley, Alicia Blair. Joining us in 6 from Melbourne Uni, it's Havantika Jayakumar. In 7 from Geelong Guild, Maisie Knight. So an excellent start there from Shave in 4 and to our right of Alicia Blair. So Alicia Blair and Shave, the ones to lead this one out through 50 metres. But it's going to be Shave that's going to prevail here with Blair on her right there. So Shave, Blair, Ponchard. Those are your first 3 that will advance through to the semi-finals. Next race on the track is Heat 2 of 4, women's under 20 100 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Essendon, it's Mia Monaghan. In 3 from Eaglehawk, Isabella Noonan. Joining us in 4 from Collingwood, it's Rebecca Valika. In 5 from Sandringham, Faith Little. Joining us in 6 from Frankston Athletics, it's Emma Haley. And in 7, Gabriella Kuthan from Frankston Athletics. So great start from Faith Little. She's going to lead this one out through about 50 metres now. So a very condensed field at this moment. On the inside there, Valika starting to move. But Valika is going to prevail here over Little. And the Eaglehawk athlete of Isabella Noonan taking that 3rd auto progression through to the semi-finals. Next event on the track is heat 3 of 4, the women's under 20 100 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Casey Cardinia, it's Taylor Goodman. In 3 from Glen Huntley, it's Julia Short. Joining us in 4 from Ballarat Harriers, Armani Anderson. In 5 from Collingwood, Ruby Azugwu. Joining us in 6, Lily Corp from Corio. And in 7, Isabel Avendano from Frankston Athletic Club. So a great start there from Anderson, bolting to the front of the field with Ruby Azugwu in tow. So Anderson streaking for the finish line here, flying ahead of the rest of the competitors. 11.98 unofficial. Looking to be possibly one of the fastest auto qualifiers towards that semi-final. Of course, the top 3 from each heat, the next 4 best times will progress. That's 16 athletes. Plus 0.6 on the wind gauge. So that wind just spinning around a lot, just like it does here at Lakeside. Next event on the track is the heat 4 of 4 and the women's under 20 100 metres. The top 3 from each heat plus the next 4 best times overall will progress to the semi-final. Joining us in lane 2 from Glen Huntley, it's Alex Resneski Correa. In 3 from Mentone, Sophie Cheap. Joining us in 4 from Wendouree, Mackenzie Estlick. In 5 from Casey Cardinia, Amaya Cortina. In 6, Julia Zaitseva joins from Sandringham. In 7, Christina Theoharis from Nunawading. Joining us in 8, Indiana Stott from Kilo St Bernard's. A rapid start there from Eslick as she makes her way to the front of the field. Cheap on her inside, also mounting a challenge here. But Eslick looks to be the fastest by a fair margin this one here. 11.86 unofficial. Negative 0.7 on the wind gauge there. So that concludes the 4 prelims of the women's under 20 100 metres. Up to come soon is the men's under 20 100 metres. And then we get into the opens. And just a reminder, if you've just run or waiting to run, want to find out when you're running, what you're doing, or how you went, you can always check out your results, progressions, and start lists on Results Hub. It's the same place you check in as well. So it's a very, very versatile program. Just definitely worth paying attention to if you want to have a great weekend. Introducing heat 1 of 4, prelims of the men's under 20 100 metres. So 16 will advance to the semi-finals. That is the top 3 from each heat plus the next 4 best times. Joining us in lane 1 from Nunawading, it's Vince Sinarantha. In 2 from Singapore, it's Daniel Raihan Curran. Joining us in 3, Adrian Faraya Wilson from Coburg. In 4 from Singapore, Harry Irfan Curran. In 5 from Corio, Lucas Pearce. In 6 from Casey Cardinia, Israel Alanian. In 7, Darcy Nixon from Box Hill. And in 8, Janice Kubiski from Damon Valley. Away and racing in heat 1 of 4. Very, very well spread field here on the inside there. Harry Irfan Curran making an excellent run there. But it'll be the athlete from Corio, Lucas Pearce. 10.84 unofficial. World Under 20 qualifier of 10.50. Of course, you could see that time come down and get a bit closer to that and get some exciting results. a short public service announcement. Looking for club helpers for the field events from Athletics Chilwell, Athletics Essendon, Ballarat Harriers, Box Hill, Corio, Frankston, Glen Huntly, Melbourne Uni, Mentone, Old Scotch, and Western A's. So that's club helpers. We need them for our field events to get started at 6:30. So they can make their way over. That'll be awesome. From Chilwell, Essendon, Ballarat Harriers, Box Hill, Corio, Frankston, Glen Huntly, Melbourne Uni, Mentone, Old Scotch, and Western A's. So away and racing here. Asher Andrews getting an excellent start there. Effort to his right. Vera Singh as well going with him. Asher Andrews leading this one out as Vera Singh makes the challenge. So Vera Singh, Andrews and Antonia Hiscock will take the first three progressions. Plus 1.0 on that wind gauge. So we're starting to see a little bit more aid. You start to see the women's javelin warming up. Away and racing here. Drummond Templeton getting an excellent start on the inside in blue. To his left, Jackson Latchman and Cooper Bertram as well, moving very well here. So cruising through the finish, 10-9-8 unofficial. Again, that World Under 20 qualifier, 10-5-0. And racing in heat 4 of 4. Great start there from Jamison Cox in the green. Geelong Guild on his inside there. Oliver Hillmarker in white. Excellent run there to the finish line. 10.85 unofficial plus 0.3 there. So I have a very, very strong feeling that at this point on this weekend, we're going to see some of those World Under 20 qualifiers start to be really tested. Next event on the track is the first of our 3 women's prelims for the 100 metres. Joining us in lane 1 from Frankston, Amber Van Eed. In 2 from Mornington, Milan Hickman. In 3 from Box Hill, Alana McInnes. Joining us in 4 from Diamond Valley, Keely Boyne. In 5 from Wendouree, it's Nyajima Jock. In 6 from Essendon, Amanda Rout. In 7 from Sandringham, Abby Francis. And in 8 from Nunawading is Cheyenne Van Ravenstein. So away and racing here. Excellent start from Nyajima Jock and Keely Boyne. So Boyne's going to lead this one out so far. We're going to mount the challenge to her. It's going to be Nyajima Jock on her outside. So an excellent first heat underway there, 11.92. So top 2 from each heat plus next 2 best times qualify for the final. Now into the infield for the presentation of the Javelin.
So let's turn our attention to the infield, where we will be introducing our competitors in the Women's Open Javelin Throw. This is the 95th occurrence of this event. Mackenzie Milcherek, 4-time winner, is the defending champion with 53.06. The event record holder, 68.57, Catherine Mitchell. And the most number of wins is Charlotte McGibbon from the Victorian Rowers Institute with 12 wins. Mackenzie's still got a bit of work to do. So from the inside, let's introduce our field in Station 1 from Doncaster, Jessica Nolan. Station 2, representing Ballarat YCW, Ashley Gleeson. Station 3, from Albury, Shaylee Ginger Ryan. Station 4, bronze medalist from 2025 from Diamond Valley, Vanessa Smith. In 5, the 4-time champ, PB of 59.59. Let's welcome from Corio, Mackenzie Milcherek. Station 7, representing Athletics Nunawading, Lara Richards. In 8, representing Melbourne University via Great Britain with a best of 45.85, let's welcome Rachel Wall. Station 9, representing Sandringham, Annalise Bush. And 11, a multiple Victorian champion having a go at the Javelin throw this evening. Representing Sandringham, let's welcome back to Lakeside, Mia Skerry.
Thank you, Tim. Next race on the track is heat 2 of 3 in the women's 100 metres. Joining us in lane 1 from Frankston, Georgia Middleton. In 2 from Essendon, Alyssa Stoll. In 3 from Old Melburnians, Isabella Fletcher. In 4 from Keilor St Bernard's, it's Olivia Honey. Joining us in 5 from Albury, Shauna Herbst. In 6 from Sandringham, Elizabeth Dingle-Dye. In 7 from Collingwood, Olivia Sheens. And in 8 from Williamstown, Stephanie Ryan. Away and racing here. An excellent start across the board there. Isabella Fletcher leading this pack out. On her right is Olivia Honey. So Honey, Fletcher and Herbst coming through the line at almost the same time. 12:01 unofficial. Coming up with the introduction of the triple jump field.
Thank you. No, my pleasure once again to introduce the field for the 95th running of the Men's Open Triple Jump Championship of Victoria. Most wins, Elwyn Jones has 8 Victorian championships. Liam Glue is the defending champion and he's back again. The event record holder, 16.90, Andrew Murphy from New South Wales. Also shared by Phillips Adowu from England. And the best Victorian in this championship, 16.85, Ian Campbell back in 1979. So let's introduce our field. In Station 1, it is the 2-time Victorian champ, silver in the Australian Championship. Let's welcome back to Lakeside, Liam Glue. Station 2 with a best of 12.90 from Ringwood, Jack Fun. Station 5 representing Frankston Athletic Club, Jeremiah Jeans. Station 6, the 2025 Under-17 champion, it is from Collingwood Harriers, Wolfgang Curry. Station 8, multiple medalists in the Victorian Championships going back a decade or more. Representing Preston, it is Frank Brisovac. In Station 9, he's a multiple Victorian, a junior medalist. It is from Collingwood Harriers, Jasper Louis. Station 10, the 2025 Under-20 Victorian champion from Wyndham Track and Field, Sebastian Weikart. And next to him, 4th in 2025 in this Open Championship, also from Wyndham Track and Field, Sebastian Panikal. They are your 8 starters in the Men's Open Triple Jump Championship.
Introducing your starters, heat 2 of 3 of the Women's Open 100 metres. Joining us in lane 1 from Frankston. Joining us from lane 1 from Melbourne Uni, it's Ishaya Aya. In 6 from Box Hill, it's Jennifer Lim. Joining us in 3 from Diamond Valley, Katie Oliver. In 4 from Ballarat Harriers, Grace Crow. In 5, Alana Grandine from Essendon. Joining us in 6, Rebecca Bain from Keilor St Bernard's. Joining us in 7 from Glen Huntley, it's Ella Bowen. And in 8, Charlie Matthews from Williamstown. And the next race is underway. Grace Crow getting an excellent start there, taking her way right to the front of the pack. So she's going to lead this one, get the auto qualifier. Onto her left there, Katie Oliver, 11.90 the time unofficially. Next out on the track is the first of our 6 prelims for the men's 100 metres. 24 will advance to the next round. That is top 3 from each heat plus the next 6 best times. Joining us in lane 1 from South Coast, it's Paul McKeown. In 2 from Collingwood, Jordan Sampson. Joining us in 3, Hayden Moon from Diamond Valley. In 4, Mason Spikers from Geelong Guild. Joining us in 5 from Sandringham, Drew Rodriguez Chico. In 6, from Glen Huntley, it's Sean Flanagan. In 7, Jake Doran from Queensland. And in 8, James Hurley from Diamond Valley. So we're off and underway. Rodriguez Chico getting an excellent start. So is Mason Spikers on his inside. Jake Doran on the outside running very well too. So Doran will take this one out, the auto qualifier. 10.68 unofficial. So quite rapid there into a negative 0.8. Waiting at their blocks there, heat 2 of 6 in the men's open 100 metres. As I said before, 24 will advance to the next round. That's top 3 from each heat plus the next 6 best times. Joining us in lane 1 from Doncaster, Anthony Jordan. In 2, Young Ho Michael Chow from Box Hill. In 3, from Preston, Dean Chan. Joining us in 4, from Dandenong Springvale, Craig Concesso. In 5, Michael Hansford joins us from Casey Gardenia. In 6, from Essendon, Chris Vi. In 7, Lachlan Turnham from Mornington. And in 8, from Yarra Rangers, it's Jacob Tove. So away and racing there. Excellent start from Craig Concesso. He's pretty rapid in this event. Michael Hansford on his outside also going to challenge him there. But Concesso going to cruise on through here. 10.81 unofficial, negative 1.3 on the wind gauge. Just Just a reminder, we can check all results and progression start lists on Results Hub. So if you're looking forward to see who progresses through, that's Results Hub, the place to go. Next in the track, heat 3 of 6 in the men's 100-metre sprint. Joining us in lane 1 from Preston, it's Anavyot Olak. In 2 from Melbourne Uni, Oscar Taylor. Joining us in 3 from Ringwood, Jack Lacey. Joining us in 4, the fan of chocolate milk, it's Hugh Cabangele from Sandringham. Joining us in 5 from St Kevin's, Nathan Riali. In 6 from South Bowen, it's Dumisani Malope. In 7, Joe Liu from Preston. Joining us in 8 from Melbourne Uni, Samavia Singh. An excellent start there from the Milkman in lane 4, Huber Cabangale. To his right there, Nathan Reali also mounting a challenge there. But Cabangale, ole, here he comes right through to the finish line. 10.73, pushing the pram down the street right there. Plus 0.3 on the wind gauge. Introducing your field for Heat 4, the men's 100 metres. So 24 advanced, that's top 3 from each heat, plus the next 6 best times overall. Joining us in lane 2 from Glen Huntley, Tyler Dessar. In 3 from Ringwood, Jared Glover. Joining us in 4, Cooper Sherman from Ballarat Harriers. In 5 from Corio, Jacob Caesar. In 6, Yoi Xing Guang from Melbourne Uni. Joining us in 7 from Casey Cardenia is Jared De Silva. In 8, Liam Schreck from Box Hill. So away and racing here. Excellent start from Cooper Sherman in lane 4. And it's going to be the athlete who'll take it out, this one right there. Very rapid, 10.53 plus 1.0. Introducing your starters for heat 5 of 6 in the men's open 100 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Collingwood, Lucas Archer. Joining us in 3 from Western Athletics, Braden Patelli. In 4 from Box Hill, James Gabert. In 5, Jonathan Thirth from Doncaster. Joining us in 6 from Western Athletics, Marcus Snyders. In 7, Sachintha Senarath from Nunawading. And joining us in 8, Stuart Caffarella from Sandringham. Away and racing here. Gabert getting an excellent start. So he leads this one through 50 metres on his right there, Jonathan Thirth. So Gabert, then it'll be Protelli and back to Firth. 10.69 unofficial, plus 1.6. A little bit of wind starting to play here in these times, but again, that auto progression, top 3 from each heat, plus the next 6 best times is what we're looking for. For those of you following along from the stands, live results are available on Results Hub for our field events, including just the triple jump. So that's right, live results on Results Hub for the field events. Next event, or next race on the track is Heat 6 of 6 on the men's open 100 metres. So looking for those final 3 auto qualifiers. Joining us in lane 2, Fraser Paul from South Australia. In 3 from Essendon, Brian Mayengo. In 4, Alexander Colgan from Sandringham. In 5, Jeremy Kariuki from KC Cardinia. Joining us in 6, Maki Lucaris from Collingwood. In 7, Lucas Ryan from Glen Huntley. And in 8 from Ringwood, Jack Fun. So Heat 6 of 6 is underway. Great start there from Fun. On the inside there, Alexander Colgan making an excellent dash to the finish line. On his right there, Jeremy Kariuki as well. So Colgan cruises through 10.85, neg 0.6 on the wind gauge. So that rounds out their 100-metre action. Coming soon will be the 400 metres, getting underway at about 7:10. information on the infield, which is starting round 4 of the Women's Victorian Open Javelin Championship. We'll get an update on those distances and positions coming pretty soon. Introducing your competitors. First of the three, women's 400 metres. It's the under-20s to start. Joining us in lane 3 from Wellington, Lily Marasato. In 4 from Glen Huntley, Jasmine Firth. Joining us in 5 from Casey Cardinia, Annabella Denton. In 6 from Deakin, Isla Bradshaw. Joining us in 7 from Bellarine, it's Evie Lurie. And in 8 from Box Hill, Ali Brooks. So a great start there from Denton in 5 and Isla Bradshaw to her right there. So as they come around the bend and break the stagger, Annabella Denton making an excellent surge towards the front here. Moving down the back straight, a little bit of movement there from Isla Bradshaw. She tries to get on the shoulder, but out there, Evie Lurie from Bellarine now mounting the challenge to the rest of the field. Coming around 200, the field's starting to settle a bit more as Evie Lurie continues to lead this one around the bend, but definitely some late striking to happen here as they come to kick onto the straight for the final time. So Lurie leading the tight bunched pack as the lactic begins to set in on her right. Ali Brooks from Box Hill looking to be the strongest at the moment. So Brooks leads this one through to the finish line. 58.45 unofficially for the effort. Deakin, then Bellarine. So 8 will advance. There's top 2 from each heat plus the next 2 best times. Introducing your starters for Heat 2 of the women's 400 metre under 20. Joining us in lane 3 from Box Hill, Georgina Tritton. In 4 from Corio, Mia Rayson. Joining us in 5 from Ballarat Harriers, Darcy Thatcher. In 6 from Mentone, Sarah Hastings. Joining us in 7 from Doncaster, Lucy Kearney. And in 8, Gabriella Couthen from Frankston Athletics. So we are away and racing here as Mia gets an excellent start to this one, beginning to pick up the stagger as soon as possible. Lucy Kearney as well, moving very, very well down the back straight now under lights. So Kearney now the leader as they move through 150 metres. And the field begins to shake up. So a bit movement on the inside there from Tritton, Rayson and Thatcher. As we now see the pack bunch up before briefly releasing like an elastic band onto the straight here. So Thatcher making an excellent run here, as is Hastings as the lactic begins to settle in. So Thatcher, then Hastings, 57.97 unofficial. And choosing your starters for heat 3 of 3 and the women's under 20, 400 metres. Top 2 from each heat, plus the next 2 best times will advance to the final. Joining us in lane 2 from Wellington, Darcy Knowles. In 3, Olivia Collett from Doncaster. Joining us in 4 from Shepparton, Lucy Potter. In 5, Lilybella Hilly joins us from Essendon. In 6 from Machika Moama, it's Scarlett Southern. In 7, Annabelle Classen from Mornington. And in 8 from Frankston Athletics, it's Isabel Avendano. An excellent start from Lucy Potter from Shepparton and Olivia Collett from Doncaster as they begin to make their way around onto the back straight. That stagger not really breaking down too much there.
So Healy's starting to get into a stride down the back straight and starting to take on the stagger with Southern just to the outside. Potter working nicely on the inner lanes there alongside Classen from Mornington, but it's Healy now going into that final 200 metres with quite a nice break.
Yeah, Hilly's leading the pack out here. We're going to see what happens when they get to the start of the straight. A little bit of movement there from Potter as she struggles to get back into position there. So she's sitting in about second now as Hilly continues to lead them on to the straight now. So Hilly holding on to the lead here. A little bit of movement towards the back of Scarlett Southern now, picking up her face as Hilly continues to lead here. So Potter and Southern, Avendano on the outside, 57.55 unofficially. That concludes the under 20 400 metres for the women.
So the white flag up there for Mackenzie Milcharik. We'll get a fix on how they're going in this javelin competition. So for final attempt of 57.71, looks like Mackenzie has taken out her 5th Victorian Open Javelin Championship. So congratulations to the young competitor from Corio.
Introducing your starters for the men's under 20 400 metres. 8 will advance to the final. That's top 2 from each heat plus the next 2 best times. Joining us in lane 3 from Old Scotch, Ted Davison. In 4 from Keilor St Bernard's, Finn Daffy. Joining us in 5 from Ballarat Harriers, Flynn Duggan. In 6, Adrian Faraya Wilson from Coburg. In 7 from Diamond Valley, it's Xander Botha. And in 8 from Essendon, Jesse Lumby. So we're away and racing here. Excellent start there from Wilson and Duggan to make their way around the bend there. Xander Botha also getting an excellent start.
So Daffy from Keilor St Bernard's making a move here on one of our pre-event favourites there in Duggan, but it's Wilson who's setting the pace. He's just gone alongside Botha to the outside from Diamond Valley. Now we're seeing the young man from Keilor St Bernard's in a Daffy really starting to make his way through.
Yeah, so as you see here, Wilson really starting to streak pretty far towards the front now. On that inside though, Daffy holding the challenge very much against him. So leading to the straight, we've got Wilson.
But now we're seeing Duggan come through beautifully. So the strength of the Ballarat Harriers is very evident in this final 50 metres, and he'll get one of those auto qualifying spots.
Yeah, so Wilson, then Duggan back to Botha.
So just a quick update from the triple jump, the men's open. So it's a very close competition. 15:18 leading the way for Liam Glue, but 15:17 Jasper Louis from Coleraine Harriers in second, and Sebastian Panical from Wyndham in third, 15:05. So another update from the triple jump. They're now commencing round 6. So that was after round 5. 1 centimetre separating a Glue and a Louis.
Introducing your starters for the men's under 20 400 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Old Scotch, it's Jack Maynard. In 3 from Diamond Valley, it's Jackson Lutchman. In 4 from St. Kevin's, Emmett Wilson. Joining us in 5 from Essendon, Tarek Bello. In 6 from Eureka, Oliver Grant. In 7, Jake Frost from Nunawading. Joining us in 8 from Diamond Valley, Asher Andrews. So away and racing there. Excellent start from Emmett Wilson in the St. Kevin's colours as they move around past the discus cage and onto the back straight.
So Wilson moving very nicely into the back straight. He's already taken the stagger over Bello, probably the top seed. So Wilson looking very strong. Now Bello starting to hit his stride, and alongside him it is Grant from Eureka.
Yeah, so excellent strides down the back straight there from Emmett Wilson. Very Gus Simpfendorfer-esque to those St. Kevin's references. Now Emmett Wilson leading this one out onto the back home straight now.
So once again, top 2 to go through, and that certainly looks like it's going to be Emmett Wilson and also Tarek Bello from Essendon. They start to just ease it back off again. A little bit of a gap to Grant.
Yeah, so Wilson will take this one out, Tarek Bello in 2, and then Grant will take that one home. 48.88 unofficial.
So over in the triple jumper, red flag for Glue on the 6th and final attempt, leaving Jasper Louis. The last jump is 1 centimetre behind. 15:18 currently for Glue to lead the competition. 15:17 for Louis. So lots of excitement over here in the triple jump competition. Unfortunately, the red flag up for Louis. So that means Liam Glue takes out his 3rd Victorian Open Triple Jump Championship.
Introducing your starters for heat 3 of 3 in the men's under 20 400 metres. Joining us in lane 2 from Casey Cardinia, Liam Piccolo. In 3 from Old Scotch, Oscar Bravulis. In 4 from Geelong Guild, Noah Mills. Joining us in 5 from Doncaster, Christian Zapras. In 6, Patrick Dixon Game from Coburg. Joining us in 7, Will Brown from Chilwell. And in 8 from Casey Cardinia, it's Blessing Selvaraj. So an excellent start there from Zapras and Bravulis as they come around the bend and behind the discus cage there. So Will Brown moving very well.
So Zapras starting to take the stagger on the Coburg runner there in Dixon Game, but they're running together, and Dixon Game not letting him go past easily here, but Zapras looking good as they go through the first 200.
Yeah, so Zapras taking ownership of this race now, coming into 200 metres to go as Dixon Game begins to hold on there. So it's going to be a little battle between these two, of course, looking for those automatic qualifiers.
So Noah Mills is the one who's making the move from the field. Also the Old Scotch runner there in Bravulis, but Zapras has got it all his own way. Dixon Game battling on strongly, but we're seeing a big finish here from the Old Scotch runner and also from Geelong Guild.
Yeah, so Zapras will take this one out. Dixon Game in 2 in a very tight battle there, but Noah Mills will take third. 49.93 unofficial. And that wraps up the under-20 men's 400-metre action for tonight.
So let's draw our attention to the infield for the first presentation for the 2026 Victorian Open and Under-20 Championships, brought to you by South Melbourne Physio. And it is for the Female Open Javelin Championship, the 95th time this event's been conducted. Receiving the bronze medal with a best distance of 42.43 metres, representing Albury Athletics, Shaylee Ginger Ryan. With a best distance of 45.21 metres, representing Doncaster, our silver medalist, Jessica Nolan. And for the 5th time atop the podium in the Open Championship with a best distance of 57.71 on the final throw, representing Corio. Congratulations, Mackenzie Milcherik. Congratulations to all competitors, but particularly to Shaylee, Jessica and Mackenzie, our medalists in the Open Javelin throw.
Introducing your starters for the first of the 3 prelims of the women's 400 metre sprint. Just a reminder that there is no semi-final, so the final will be held on Saturday at 1 p.m. for this event. Joining us in lane 1 from Frankston Athletic Club, Lucy Young. In 2 from Collingwood, Greta Zabotto. In 3 from Doncaster, Nia Brown. Joining us in 5 from Essendon, it's Michaela Saladen Arcos. In 6 from Melbourne Uni, it's Genevieve O'Brien. Joining us in 7 from Sandringham, it's Sophia Gregorovich. In 8 from Jarrah Rangers, Emily Fiedler. So away and racing here. Excellent start there from Fiedler and Nia Brown on the inside. They start to move around in the pack there. Salada Narcos brings herself towards the front.
So Salada Narcos from Essendon, she's looking good, but she's also got Gregorovich from Sandringham just to the outside and gives us something to chase alongside O'Brien from Melbourne University. So very interesting as they hit the 200.
Yeah, Salada Narcos and Gregorovich really starting to battle it out here on their inside, though. A little bit more movement as they come onto the straight. So now we're 3 abreast coming into the home 120 metres.
So top 2 to go through, and at the moment, Salada-Narcos is leading the way. O'Brien's just got a little bit of an edge over Gregorovich from Sandringham. It's going to be close as they hit the line, Noah.
Absolutely. So here comes Salada-Narcos, and then we see O'Brien and Gregorovich taking that out. 54.04. So top 2 from each heat plus the next 2 best times progress to the final.
So I'll introduce the field for the second of the 3 preliminary heats of the Women's Open 400 metres, and we have 6 starters. In lane 1, representing Melbourne University, Annie Lenkiron. In lane 2, representing Doncaster, Amia Summer Ali. In lane 3, from Deakin, Laura Cadry. Lane 4, Sandringham's Anna Plessinger. In lane 5, we welcome to Lakeside Stadium from Collingwood Harriers, Mia Gross. Alongside her in lane 6 from Melbourne University, Ella Tobin. 6 starters in heat 2 of 3, Women's Open 400 metres. Gross out beautifully here. To the inside of her is Plessinger working very, very nicely. Also, you've got Tobin going well down the back straight. Slight tailwind here, but it is Mare Gross just leading the way. Tobin's now getting into the slipstream of Gross going with her. Plessinger trying to make up the gap as they hit the 200. But all Mare Gross at the moment. Plessinger's just starting to take the stagger on Tobin. First two to go through automatically, and then the next two best times. Gap then to Kadri in next position, but it's a race in three. Mare Gross leading the way into the home straight. Plessinger starting to challenge Tobin now, but Tobin's strong over that final 50. It looks like Plessinger just might get the ascendancy here. Mare Gross is going to take it and take it nicely. Plessinger looks like she'll slip into that second position, and Tobin will have to wait on times. Kadri through in a next position. Then Summer Alley and also Glen Kyron, but a good win, Mare Gross. Great to have her here at Lakeside Stadium, the Victorian Open Track and Field Championships. So let's turn our attention back into the infield for the presentations for the 95th edition of the Victorian Open Men's Triple Jump Championship. And receiving our bronze medal with the best distance of 15.05 metres, representing Wyndham Track and Field, Sebastian Panical. The silver medalist with a best of 15.17 metres, representing Collingwood Harriers, Jasper Louis. But once again, atop of the podium with a best of 15.18, representing Athletics Essendon, your 2026 champion is Liam Glue. Congratulations to Sebastian, Jasper and Liam, the medalists in the Men's Open Triple Jump Championship.
Introducing your starters for the Heat 3 of 3 in the Women's Open 400 metres. 8 will advance to the final on Saturday at 1 p.m. The top 2 from each heat plus the next 2 best times. Joining us in lane 1 from Keilor St Bernard's, it's Charlotte Duggan. In 3 from Box Hill, Lacey Williams. Joining us in 4 from Western Athletics, Honor Tobin. In 5 from Franks Athletic, it's Lexi Lazou. In 6 from Collingwood, it's Scarlett Burmeister. Joining us in 7 from Wellington, Cadence Fleming. And in 8, it's Anushka Shenoshin. So away and racing, great start there from Williams in lane 3 and Honor Tobin in 4. So as they start to make their way onto the back straight and past the discus cage, I'll hand over to Tim.
So Lazou's got the pull there with Burmeister leading beautifully down the back straight. Just ahead of her, also Cadence Fleming in the picture. But now we're seeing the best of Alexi Lazou just cruising through that first 200 metres. Yeah,
Lazou being very dominant from the outset in this race here. And we're getting to see that shine through as they come through 150 metres.
So Burmeister not done with yet though, and we're finding the Wellington athlete there in Fleming battling on nicely. Now we're seeing, looks like Tobin, I think, coming through on the middle in the inside lanes there. But now Lazou just starting to turn off a little bit. Burmeister still battling on. Tobin now coming home strong.
Yeah, Lazoo showing a dominance all the way through to the finish line here with Burmeister to her right. A little bit of shuffle for places here in the back for Tobin, but it'll be Lazoo, Burmeister, then Tobin taking that out. 55.16. So that concludes the women's heats of the 400 metres. Up to come the men, then the 1500s. Introducing your starters for the first of the men's 400 metre open championship journey. Joining us in lane 1 from Collingwood, it's Lucas Archer. In 2 from Box Hill, Liam Schreck. In 3 from Keilor St Bernard's, it's Caleb Hurst. Joining us in 4 from Casey Cardinia, James Denton. Joining us in 5, Caleb Kilpatrick from Geelong Guild. In 6 from Ballarat Harriers, Patrick Martin. Joining us in 7 from Sandringham, Adam Yarnellis. In 8 from Ringwood, it's Mitchell Mullins. So we're away and racing here. Excellent start from Caleb Kilpatrick and Patrick Martin. So Kilpatrick streaking towards around behind the discus cage now, but Patrick Martin really starting to lope his way down the back straight. Excellent movement there from Mitchell Mullins as they now continue to break their stagger up and really settle this race in the last 200 metres. So Patrick Martin continuing to assert his dominance in the black and yellow as they come around onto the straight for the final time. A little bit of movement there on the inside from Caleb Kilpatrick, as does Liam Schreck, also run very well up the inside of the back pack. So Pat Martin just going to lead Kilpatrick home here in this first of 4 prelims. 49.01 on a lovely Thursday evening. So the progression will be 16 will advance to the next round. That's top 3 from each heat plus the next 4 best times. Introducing your starters for Heat 2 of 4 on the men's 400 metre open prelims. Joining us in lane 1 from Deakin, it's Jackson Tinker. In 2 from Ringwood, Arthur D. Cote-Goyden. In 3 from Chilwell, it's Jaden Barmby. Joining us in 4 from Ballarat Harriers, Stuart Aberdeen. Joining us in 5, Cameron Searle from Collingwood. In 6, it's Hyuga Nishimura from Essendon. In 7, Owen Veltman from Essendon. Joining us in 8 from Melbourne Uni, it's Udafi Patricia. Great start from Nishimura and Veltman in the red and black of Essendon as they make their way behind the discus cage now.
But Searle's really starting to put the foot down as he goes into the back straight. So Cam Searle looking very strong in the back straight. You see the junior champion Veltman trying to go with him, as will Nishimura.
Yeah, so Searle really leading this one. He's got plenty of pedigree and experience in this event. I know he's behind him. Nishimura and Veltman still hanging on as they come around onto the straight. But Searle looks to be the one to take this one home. It's just a matter of who's coming with him.
Now, Aberdeen's making a bit of a move here, so the strength of the Ballarat Harriers runner will come into the 4 here as he enters in the final straight. But Nishimura just seems to be hanging on nicely, but it's all Searle.
Yeah, so Searle's going to walk this one home now, followed by Nishimura and Veltman. 46.95 unofficially. A very excellent run as we then start the introduction for the men's javelin.
So back on the infield, it's my pleasure to introduce the field for the 102nd time that we've conducted the Victorian Championship for the Open Javelin. 79.08 is the championship record. Gary Calvert from Essendon back in 1981. Bob Grant from Old Scotch and Bob Lacey from Preston have the number of record wins of 5, which they could be joined by someone tonight. Our reigning champion sits on 4 wins, and that is Ollie Blackburn from Collingwood Harriers, 63.82, and that was his 3rd consecutive championship last year. So let's introduce our field. He's been an under 16, under 17, under 18, and under 20 Victorian champion. Let's welcome to the Lakeside Stadium, Xavier Pitt from Albury Athletics. Fresh off a bronze in the triple jump from Wyndham, we have Sebastian Panical. Representing Mentone with a season's best of 65.58, it is Hattie Alshaw-Baggy. All the way from Geelong, representing Athletics Chilwell with a best of 55 metres, Alexander Jarman. From Yarra Rangers with a best of 56.21, we welcome back Ash Armand. From Ringwood with a best of 48.03, Heath Fox. We welcome to Lakeside, probably his first go at the Open Javelin. Let's see how he goes. He's got a best of 44 metres from Collingwood Harriers, Lenny Robin. Another one of the Alshaw-Baggy boys in Station 9 with a best of 49.48 from Mentone, Safe Alshaw-Baggy. And our 4-time champ, can he join the 5-time winners here this evening? We welcome back to Lakeside with a best of 69.63 from Collingwood Harriers, Oliver Blackburn. So good luck to all competitors in the men's Open Javelin throw.
Introducing your competitors in Heat 3 of 4 of the men's 400-metre prelim. Joining us in Lane 1 from Melbourne Uni, it's Khan Cooper. In 2 from Essendon, Chris Lim. Joining us in 3 from Wellington, Lachlan Rosado. Joining us in 4 from Sandringham, Michael Romanen. In 5 from Melbourne Uni, Jordan Gilbert. Joining us in 6 from Williamstown is Joshua Muir. In 7 from Ringwood, Lachlan Shanks. And in 8 from Sandringham, Lorenzo Imbriano.
So back on to the infield, or sorry, the far side of the track, we do have our competitors lined up, ready to go. The 39th jumping of the Women's Open Triple Jump Championship of Victoria. 13.62 from Neka Opala in 2015 is our event record. Rachel Lindbergh was the champion in 2025 with 12.53. Baraklud Viduka, Hold Paradians and Athletics Essendon, does have the most number of wins on 8. And let's introduce our field. Station 1, representing Ringwood, is Nathia Leonaja. Station 2, bronze in 2024 from Box Hill, Bridie Davison. In Station 3, she got bronze in 2022. We welcome from Ringwood, Kayla Elvish. In 5, she's the under-18 champion this year in the juniors from Geelong Guild, Kaylin Walker. Silver in that competition, also from Geelong Guild. Let's welcome Georgia Letson. Alongside her, we have from Frankston Athletics, Sarai Hughes. From Wyndham Track and Field, let's welcome Fusha 3 Dina for Ireland. Our 4-time champion for PB of 13.11. It's good to have her back here at Lakeside. From Preston Athletics, Chloe Grenard. Also from Ringwood, with a best of 12 metres, let's welcome Neha Leonaja. Coming second last year, the silver medalist with a distance of 12.41. Let's welcome back from Box Hill, Sophie Sarafa. Next to her is Station 12. She is the under-17 champ this year from Casey Gdynia, Alara Cole. And in 13, from Eureka, Charlie Instar. So 12 starters in the final of the Women's Open Triple Jump Championship.
So away and racing. Excellent start there from Muir in lane 6 as they make their way around the bend. A little bit of movement there from Jordan Gilbert as well.
So Gilbert's already taken the stagger. We're seeing Romanen starting to move his way forward down the back straight, but also moving nicely from Shanks from Ringwood.
Yeah, so Romanen probably looking the best poised to fight around this bend now. But again, Gilbert just cruising around now. So as that lactic starts to come into play, that race pace strategy, of course, it's a heat. Get to see a little bit more movement happen. So here comes Romanen.
But Gilbert just in control. We're seeing Muir starting to make his move, so the strength of Dashiell Muir coming through. He's going to secure his position. Top 3 to go through. Roman will be safe there, and Shanks is going to have to wait for time, but it looks like Gilbert will take it. Muir in second, Roman, and then Shanks. And to the inside there was the Wellington runner in Rosato.
48.26 on the clock, of course, just running for that qualification through to the next round. Introducing your starters for the men's 400 metre prelims. Joining us in lane 2 from Casey Cardinia, it's Marley Brochard. In 3 from Essendon, Andrew Beaudry. Joining us in 4 from Ringwood, Zach Cossey. In 5, the reigning champion from Doncaster, Thomas Reynolds. In 6 from Queensland, it's Tage Hooper. Joining us in 7 from South Bendigo, Oliver Muggleton. And in 8 from Corio, Benjamin Day. So great start there from Reynolds, coming hot off a very good season best, close to the Commonwealth Games qualifier. So he wants to do some damage this weekend as he comes and already picks up the stagger.
So a great opening 100 there for Reynolds. He's looking comfortable. We find the Queenslander just trying to go with him now. The inside of him is Muggleton from South Bendigo, but it's all Reynolds as they hit 200.
Yeah, so very dominant run, 45-1 in Canberra. So as he comes around onto the straight, it looks to be his race just to get through to the rounds. As you see the athlete from Queensland just behind him in Tage Hooper, hanging on there.
Looks like the Ringwood runner there in Cosi also starting to come through here, but Reynolds has got a gap of at least 25 metres that he hits the line there. So beautiful running from Tom Reynolds to open his account here at the Victorian Championships. It'll be the Queenslander there getting his place into the next round. That's Hooper, and then it looks like Zach Cossey from Ringwood will take the auto qualifier.
So that wraps up our 400 metre action tonight, and coming soon the 1500 metres.
Over at the 1500 metre start, we have the first of two preliminary heats for the men's under-20 championship of Victoria. 10 starters in heat number 1. Kai Morrison from Box Hill in Station 1. Station 2, Riley Stewart from Wellington. Station 3, representing Yarra Rangers, James Crome-Smith. Taking Station 4, representing Athletics Essendon, Aidan Davis. Gilbert McCann, Nunawading in Station 5. From Olds Varians, we have Zachary Taylor in 6, Glenn Huntley's Brady Ryan in 7, Diamond Valley's Thomas Short takes Station 8. Station 9 from Athletics Essendon, Sam Meehan, and Station 10 from Box Hill, Joshua Carlin. 10 starters, heat 1 of 2, men's under 20, 1500 metre heats. So on the way now in heat 1. Top 6 will go through and the next 3 fastest will go into a field of 15 in the final. Riley Stewart getting off to a good start. You can see Carlin just to the outside there. He'll start to drift across as they get a nice opening for that first 100 there, Noah.
Yeah, so Stewart just leading that pack around. Of course, not too much to happen on the first lap, just getting yourself settled into that rhythm. See the Box Hill athlete in Mackie Morrison also now leading that second little bunch there.
He's been having a very good season as Riley Stewart. He's had his breakthrough over it's getting the sub 4 minute, and he is running with plenty of confidence. You can see Davis, I think, is getting onto the rails there. Morrison's just having a poke around the shoulder, and you see Ryan's not sitting too far behind him. Probably one of the pre-race favourites there is Ryan from Glenn Huntley, but it's all Riley Stewart at the moment as Josh Carlin just starts to edge forward.
Yeah, so a little bit more movement towards the back of the pack here as you see the professionals up the front really starting to do what they do best and getting that race experience, of course, as a junior all the way through now to that open coming soon for them.
So I heard a yell of 68 as they went through. So relatively moderate or sedate start here as you see the fields come back into Riley Stewart. He's content to just let them sit behind him. Most of the front runners sitting there. And remember, 6 are going to make it through. You can see Ryan sitting right in the midfield, currently in position number 6. And he'll be quite comfortable sitting in that spot.
Yeah, so Riley Stewart just cool as a cucumber leading this one around. That said there, that's 6 positions. Very, very important here.
Carlin just having a little poke around the shoulder. And he'll see that he's got Meehan there from Essendon sitting right with him. Then a little bit gap to Davis. Morrison in next position. Then we've got from the Yarra Rangers, Crome-Smith. Don't know too much about this one, but he's sitting in good position, sitting right there with Ryan. Gap then to the Diamond Valley runner in short, but gee, still well bunched.
Yeah, they're definitely cruising along here, just finding their spot. Something might unfold pretty busy at the end, so we'll see how that goes.
800 metres down, and yeah, the pace is rather sedate. We're seeing Carlin just sort of getting a little bit antsy, I think, because he can just tell that you don't want to have too many around as they start to do that final kick around. So the 6 will go through, but you know, there's so many contenders in this race. They've all got good form, and it's Carlin who now takes up the running. That was a good move there by Meehan from Essendon. Just to counter that move, now Davis and Morrison and Ryan moving forward.
Yeah, so Carlin just holding on to what he's got here and leading the pack through and around. Now they're 2 abreast into that back home straight now. Bit of movement there from Davis.
Now we are seeing a few little gaps in the field starting to form as the pace starts to heat up. Stewart back in the picture again, but it's Meehan and Carlin as they hit the bell. They're the ones who are leading the way.
Definitely as that bell comes, that extra surge of energy makes their way through the athletes here. Carlin and Meehan just taking the whole pack with them.
It is a group of 7. 6 will automatically go through. Carlin controlling pace. Meehan working hard down the back straight. Stewart's just gone to the lead again from the outside. We're seeing Chrome Smith also moving nicely, and Ryan looks very good. He knows what he's doing there. Davis, the one who's just dropping it a little bit into that 7th position.
Yeah, so as the pace really starts to pick its way up now, we're going to see a little bit more moving and shaking here. Stewart, the captain of this ship at this moment, as athletes move around him.
So Carlin to the outside. Morrison also trying to squeeze into that position. Ryan just starting to ease off, knowing that he's done the job to get into 6th position. But Carlin will take it, and it's Davis who's just got to push forward to the line because times will count here because it was a relatively slow heat. Short in next position, McAdam, and also Taylor battling nicely here for the final positions because it could count for who proceeds through to the final later on. But good running there. Nice, well-controlled race, and Carlin taking out heat number 1. So heat number 2 of 2, the men's under 20, 1,500 metres. We have 9 starters. Taking station 1, representing Athletics Essendon, Nathan Risk. In 2 from Albury Athletics, Dexter Hill. Station 3 from South Melbourne, James Gibbs. Station 4, representing Mentone, Willem Duncan. Nicholas Tompkins, Diamond Valley, takes station 5. Charlie Morton from Athletics Essendon in 6. Kane Hill-Kema from Glen Huntly in 7. Avery McDermott from Bendigo University in 8. And in station 9 from Shepparton Athletics, Jack Gospel. 9 starters at heat 2 of 2, men's under 20, 1,500. So well spread with this 9-man field, no crushing here, and Avery McDermott goes straight to the back of the field. The top seed is a 3:46 runner. He knows that 6 are going to make it through. He'll have a devastating kick towards the end of this race, but Avery McDermott in the Bendigo University yellow and white, sitting towards the rear in the outside, and it is our Mentone runner there in Duncan with Hill-Kema leading the way.
Yeah, so that's 6 going through. Brings a bit of strategy to this one, of course, waiting it out and then striking at the end. That leader there from Mentone, Duncan, just motoring the boys around now. On his shoulder there, Hill-Kema.
Well, this is an interesting one with 9 in the field and 6 to go through with 3 non-auto qualifiers. If they all put the pace on, they could all possibly make it through to this final. And it is Duncan from Mentone who's forging his way forward. And the pace is reasonably decent. I'll wait and see if I can get a split as they go through the 400. But Duncan probably in a position where he does want to force pace on, doesn't want to leave it at all to any chances as he goes through. So Duncan leading the way. Hill-Kema, Gospel sitting in next position. Then from Essendon we've got Morton, Gibbs. Avery McDermott having a Sunday stroll at the moment. Nathan Risk in next position. Then from Diamond Valley we have Tompkins. And from Shepparton, I think that is, Albury, that is Hill at the rear of the field. But Duncan's getting a little bit of break now, and this is quite a good move from Willem Duncan from Mentone.
Yeah, so Duncan's really putting himself out there, hoping he can tow the other boys around and just get himself that bit of space as things start to get towards crunch time. So Hill-Kema sitting behind there, leading the rest of the pack. As we see, again, McDermott just sitting there, patiently waiting.
Now we're seeing Avery McDermott just starting to lift the tempo slightly. Gibbs has got a bit of work to do, and that was a good move from James Gibbs just to get back in contact again.
Yeah, Duncan definitely leading this one out quite bold and strong here. They just continue to swap places down this train into the back straight.
So 2:14 for our leader through the 800-metre mark. Then the gap to the rest, and the rest of them are still all together basically. Gospel just sitting nicely behind Hill-Kema. McDermott, he knows through. But now that gap is just starting to get through. So 2:14 for the leader, probably around 2:16, which is very comfortable for the chasers as they went through the 800.
Yeah, this race about 6 to 8 seconds faster than the previous. So definitely one of those ones where we could possibly see all 9 go through if they really put in that hard work. But Duncan now, his battle starting to kind of see the end of it there as they come through to collect the belt.
So Duncan's still leading, but the gap's starting to narrow as they come through. Now it's up to both Tompkins and Hill to really work together over this final lap if they want to make their way through to that final. That would be unusual to see everyone in this heat get through, but they need to work hard over the final 400. Hilkema just having another look around. You'll see Gospel now slipping past. McDermott has not raised a sweat. Just behind him, Morton, who also one to watch out for. Gap to Gibbs, and he's just got to hold. He's sitting in that 6th position. So Gibbs from South Melbourne, he will have risk coming at him in the final stages.
Yeah, so Gospel now just sitting on the shoulder of Duncan as they come around 150 to go. A little bit more movement there to try and break that top 6.
So has Gibbs done enough to get himself into that final as we see a little bit of fight for glory down the home straight here, but Duncan's led all the way and he wants to take the victory here. Gospel's quite happy to let him have it. Then we're seeing Morton, Hilkema, McDermott having a look around. Now Risk is coming home strongly here, but he'll probably run out of room, and I think Gibbs will take that auto qualifier, but as Noah was saying, it's probably a quicker heat, so we're likely to see quite a few of these boys making it through to that final. But a good win there from Duncan from Mentone, setting up his place in the under-20 final. So an update from the Women's Open Triple Jump and possibly heading towards her 5th Open Championship. Chloe Grenard from Preston leading the way, 12.90 on her first attempt. 12.24, Sophie Zarafa in 2nd position. Turning our attention back to the track, and it is the first of two preliminary heats of the Women's Open 1500 metres. We have 12 starters. In Station 1, representing Geelong Guild, Isabella Jordan. Station 2, just back from the World Uni Cross Country, representing Sandringham, Mia Roo. In Station 3, from Athletics Essendon, Audrey Savage. Balafari from Sandringham takes Station 4. Jessie Main, Diamond Valley in Station 5. Abby Reid, Bendigo University in 6. Madison Caulfield, Athletics Essendon in 7. Tess Rose, Geelong Guild in 8. Aria Violini from Ballarat, YCW Station 9. Julie Fitt, Box Hill in 10. Matisse Lazari, Athletics Essendon in 11. And in Station 12, from Western Athletics, Sophie McMenemy. 12 starters in Heat 1 of 2, Women's Open, 1500 metres. So fairly clean start here, 12 starters in the first of our two heats. Probably looking for the likes of Caulfield to be leading contender here. Also the likes of Fitt, and also, as I said, Mia Roo, international competitor. It looks like it might be Rhodes potentially setting the pace early as he get them off to a really nice start here, Noah, so the pace is on.
Yeah, absolutely. They're away pretty rapidly as they all make their way onto the home straight. We'll start to pick up some positions and see what's really going on here, but definitely a bit of movement in that first 200 metres.
So I think that might be Savage leading the way at the moment. Now, it's good to see such a mix because of the nature of our championships this year. Quite a few juniors stepping up, and that includes the likes of Violini, also Abby Reid, the Bendigo runner, currently sitting towards the rear of the field. But a couple of the very talented juniors as we're approaching that first 400. So we'll get a good idea of pace here as the 12 young ladies make their way through the first 400.
Yeah, absolutely. So Savage leading this one down the back straight now. And yeah, a very, very well-balanced field with lots of different ages all the way through.
So about 72 for that opening lap for our leaders. So then they're still nicely bunched together. So Savage still leading the way around the 4:30 pace they're sitting on. So it's a good start to this race.
Yes, absolutely. So we're starting to see two groups kind of form now. That front pack really attacking the pace, going about 3 abreast across and around the bend.
So very well bunched as they go into the home straight for the second time. Now we're seeing Reid just starting to make a little bit of a move. She's got Main with her. And also Jordan. But out front, she really bunched at the moment. They're just sort of playing around, I think, at the moment, Noah. They're just sort of sizing each other up. Because yet again, it's 6 to go through, which is quite... It's going to go through to a final of 15. So 6 will be going through. Now we're seeing a little bit of a change out front, and it looks like it will be Madison Caulfield now starting to get the move on. Chasing her will be Roo from Sandringham, but now Caulfield and also Lazari in good position. Fari also moving in nicely. Now Julie Fitt from Box Hill coming alongside Violini, and Rhodes going with her, then McMenemy. So around the 2:32 going through the 800. So the pace just went off a little bit, but still a reasonably good paced effort at the moment.
So Caulfield still leading the pack as they come onto the straight once again. Again, really quite a clumped together field, so it's going to be good to see what happens when they come and collect the bell.
So it looks like about 8 in that lead pack, I think, no, if my eyes are not deceiving me. So that still means it's very competitive. The gaps are then starting to form. I think it is McMenemy in that next position. So, sorry, that's 7 in that lead pack. McMenemy then in 8th position. But Caulfield and Roo, Lazari, that could be Rhodes coming around the outside. So she's sitting at the rear of the lead pack at the moment. Fitt just in front of her. And Fari is the one who's making the big move now. We're seeing Lazari go to the outside. Fari going with it. Now Rhodes is doing the big move down the back straight. So it's all happening here. Violin has just got to hang on for dear life. Gap then to McMenemy and also Main. Caulfield still leading the way. The challenges are coming. Top 6 to go through. Now we're seeing a break of 3 out front. So a good move by Fari to get herself in good position. And they are going to be really racing to the line. The battle of the pride down here to take the lead position here. But top 3 looking very certain here. Rhodes in good position there in 4th. Then it looks like Lazari battling on with Fit, but to the inside there, I think that was Caulfield who might have taken that one out. And be a lot of interest on the times, but a very competitive opening heat there. We see Reed just coming in with McMenemy. Gap then to Savage, and then a good run there from Isabella Jordan from Geelong Guild to round out the field in the first of our 2 preliminary heats. Heat 2 of 2, the women's open 1500 metres, 11 starters, and they are. In Station 1, representing Athletics Essendon, Jennifer Mendez. Alongside her in 2, we have from Yarra Rangers, Olivia Attard. Station 3, from Wellington, it is Rachel O'Brien. From Melbourne University in Station 4, Amber Lowe. From Athletics Essendon in Station 5, Lara Sakana. Matilda Lestrange from Diamond Valley takes Station 6. Asha Morrow from Mornington Peninsula in 7. Station 8, Adouette Vaughan from Melbourne University. From Western Athletics, the defending champion, it is Janae McCrell in 9. Charlotte Jackson Athletics Essendon takes Station 10. And Michaela Young from Collingwood Harriers, Station 11. They're your starters in the second of the 2 heats of the Women's Open 1500. So 11 starters off. McCrell pushing herself forward. Mendez also going nicely. Then Sakana just starting to move forward. Asha Morrow probably one to watch here from Mornings Peninsula. She would love to get herself in that final. So Lowe just sitting at the rear of the field, but don't worry about that because Amber Lowe has a massive kick over the final laps. And out front, it is getting a little bit willing as we see the Mornington runner trying to assert position. And also McCrell, the defending champions, just going straight to the front.
Yeah, so a good bit of movement in that first lap there so far. Asha Morrow just sitting herself in that second position in front of Janae Mackerel, so behind Janae Mackerel. So we see a bit of movement there from Adette Vaughan as well, moving herself into 3rd position.
So Addard's in good position sitting on the rail. So the outside of her is Young. Now we're seeing Sakana just starting to make her way forward. We'll try and get a split as they go through the first 400. But it will be Janae McCrell leading the way and trying to get herself back into another final here at Lakeside Stadium. So McCrell leads it. So about 72 for McCrell. So once again, similar to the first heat. Sakana going wide alongside Vaughan at the moment. McCrell still leading the way and got clear space in front of her, Noah.
Yeah, absolutely. Got a bit of clean air between first and second there. So we're just going to hang on to that pack of 6 again. There's about 8 of them now, and 8 does not go into 6 if you're any good at maths. So there's going to have to be a little bit of movement from this party pack out the front, Tim.
Now they're starting to stretch out. What was a big bunch is now one long continuous line, and there are 8 in that main bunch now as they come around, and they'll get 2 laps to go. Now Sakana just joins McCrell out front. I wouldn't be surprised if Lara really puts the foot down and tries to make them hurt. Vaughan's been in good position all the way. Just behind her, Addard is moving nicely. And now we're seeing O'Brien from Wellington starting to push herself forward.
Yeah, so that Wellington athlete there just sitting on the hip of Attard now, looking to go around when she can. So it's going to be a very, very nice last 2 laps.
So through the 800 metres, McCrell, Sakana, Attard, Vaughan, O'Brien to the outside, Young, then Jackson, gap then to Morrow, another gap back to Lowe, then Lestrange and Mendez. O'Brien going to the outside here, so it looks like the Wellington athlete's starting to really push that pace forward. McCrell still leads, Sakana sitting beautifully. She is very dogged. She'll be there at the finish with Lara Sakana. And now the moves are starting to come. So the longer legs of O'Brien just starting to move forward. Addard's got to work hard, so does Vaughan to stay in the picture here. And we're seeing Jackson just really trying to keep in contact with that lead group of 6.
Yeah, so Mackerel still leading, Sakana just behind. And then O'Brien just putting herself right on the shoulder there for a bit of movement from Attard again. So refusing to let go of this one. So we see a striking move around the outside there.
McCrell's just trying to dominate this race from the front, though, but she will never shake Lara Sakana. She will be dogged, but we've got the speed of O'Brien, and now we're seeing Addard just go up a gear or 2 or 3. Young needs to respond, so does Jackson and Vaughan. Addard to the outside. This will be a challenge now. O'Brien goes even wider on the back straight. So it is O'Brien and Addard making the challenge there on McCrell for that lead position as they hit the final bend.
Yes, it's definitely heated up very rapidly now, and that 6th position just waiting in the balance there. So can we see a bit of movement to pick up that auto qualifier? But it's definitely a fast one, this one. And these ladies are getting ready to come down the straight for the final time.
So it's been a strong run the whole journey here, and McCrell has wanted this victory. She's been challenged by O'Brien. It could be close towards the end. It looks like Addard's going to secure that 3rd position. Nice finish there also from Young over the top of Sakana, but they'll get the auto qualifiers. McCrell takes it. Addard, O'Brien. Then it was Young, Sakana. Jackson looks like she's just got herself through. Vaughan will have to wait on times. Morrow as well. And below will be next one through, Lestrange and also Mendez. But an interesting second heat there. And we'll have to wait on the results hub, final results, to see our progressions through to the final of the Women's Open 1500. Let's introduce the field now. The Men's Open 1500 metre Championship of Victoria. 3 preliminary heats. Top 4 from each heat plus the 3 next best times will proceed through to the final. Let's introduce your field for heat number 1. In station 1, representing Keolis and Bernards, Mitchell Langbourne. Station 2 from Melbourne University, Jonathan Dunn. In 3, former Victorian 5K champion. Good to see him doing the 1500 from Bendigo University. It is Matthew Buckle. Station 4 from Doncaster, John Portwood. Thomas McArthur, South Bendigo, takes Station 5. From Eureka, in 6, we have Kieran Morley. Former Victorian 1500 champ from Casey Cadinia in Station 7, we welcome back Lachlan Hurd. From St Kevin's, in Station 8, it is Jack Bowen. Alongside him from Frankston, we have Bevan Doze in 9. One of our rising stars from Athletics Chilwell in Station 10, Lachlan Thomas. Ryder Gilbert from Mornington Peninsula in Station 11. In 12, from Knox, we have William Collins. Alan Vernal from Nunawading in 13, and rounding out the field from Box Hill, Station 14, James Taranto. They're your starters in Heat 1 of 3, Men's Open, 1500. So a reasonably frenetic start here. They're trying to get good position. It is top 4 to go through. So they don't have the luxury of the girls with the 6 going through. It's top 4 and they need to be up there. There's 14 starters in this event. Bowen's taken the lead automatically there in the St Kevin's uniform. Got them off to a good start as well, and they are starting to move nicely as they enter the home straight for the first time.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. So Bowen just leading the pack out here now as we see a little bit of movement there from Portwood as he makes his way to the front of the pack. But again, a big group of boys ready to go pretty fast as we see Lachlan Hurd now putting himself in the poised position.
So Portwood doesn't mind stashing it out front. He is a good front runner, but Bowen just wants to control pace. You've got Langbourne on the rails, stepping up from the 15, so the 8 to the 15, and Hurd just sitting beautifully. Buckle just sitting back in about 5th position. So about 66 as they went through the opening lap. So not stupidly quick, but they are on a reasonably good pace. Top 4 to go through.
Yeah, absolutely. That top 4 in the next 3 best times going through. Even more important now as they make their way around past the Javelin. Of course, avoiding Oliver Blackburn on the runway.
So now it's Hurd starting to make his presence felt, and Buckle is following him. So Buckle's in good position, got himself off the rails and going wider. Portwood now stuck on the rails. Collins in the midfield there. He's got Doze not too far behind him. Now the pace has gone down as Hurd really stretches them out.
So they're really starting to move now. Bevan does on the inside there, just holding the back of that clump. And Hurd now just starting to put his strides in as they come around past you.
So 209, looks like the pace has gone up a little bit and we're seeing some casualties. Morley just starting to drop off the pack. The question being asked of Taranto as well. Collins and Doze just in front of him. They're just getting alongside Portwood down the back straight. But it is Hurd and Buckle who are doing the damage out front and really starting to push this pace along.
Yes, absolutely. Plenty of these boys want that top 4 auto qualifier now. So Portwood, MacArthur, all moving along.
So Thomas is trying to get himself back into contention here. Collins is sitting in that bunch nicely. Doze made a really good move there just to try and get in connection. Bowen now being asked the question as well. Taranto and Portwood just off the back of him. But out front, it looks like it is Mitch Langbourne. He loves to win a race, even if it's a heat. But Mitch Langbourne's the one who's leading the way through as they approach the 1,200-metre mark. It's Langbourne, Hurd, Buckle, Collins. Gap then to Doze and Thomas. Thomas has got a bit of work to do to make it through here. But top 4 are looking pretty solid as they go down the back straight, Noah.
Yes, absolutely. A good bit of movement now, and they're really starting to take off. So that'll be your 4 that goes through if anything else doesn't change. But that line honours is very important for the mind. So here they come around past the Javelin for the final time. Very strong leading there from Langbourne.
So Langbourne coming from the 800-metre background. He has got a little bit of pace in the legs, but so do the other competitors, those top four. So it's going to be interesting, the battle for ego in the home straight here, and it's Collins who's making a bit of a launch here. He wants to get up there, but Langbourne looks like he's just controlling pace. Langbourne, Collins, Hurd and Buckle will make it through automatically. Taranto, good run from him, and Dozers held on beautifully. And they will be the next two fastest. They'll be waiting on time. So will Portwood and also Thomas. Bowen just coming across the line. Morley in next position, then Vernal. And then we'll have our Melbourne University runner in Dunn. From South Bendigo, we have MacArthur. And also from Mornington Peninsula, we have Ryder Gilbert. So once again, results will be coming through to result subs. So people will be getting their thumbs, hitting that refresh button to get the times from our respective heats here in the open men's competition. But a good run there, Mitch Langbourne, Kearless and Berners. Great to have him back on track over the 1,500-metre distance. And an impressive first heat there. Top four, a very decent top four, making their way through to the final as we see heat two now starting to line up, ready to go in the men's open 1,500 metres. So we have a field of 13 in the second of our three preliminary heats. And let's introduce our field. In station one from Melbourne University, Corey Harrop. Alongside him from Wendouree, Mitchell Thompson. Station three from Knox, Jet Keeley. Jack Coldish, Melbourne University in 4. Tyler Dirksen from South Melbourne, station 5. Jack Ellis from Athletics Chilwell takes 6. In 7 from Ringwood, Max Anderson. Liam Hanrahan from Athletics Chilwell in station 8. In 9 from Diamond Valley, we have Ed Bice from Old Scotch in 10. Station 11 from Knox, Bradley Hall. Solomon Meeson from Kearless and Berners in 12. And in 13 from Melbourne University, Lachlan Sheen. They are your starters in the second of our three preliminary heats of the men's open 1,500 metres. So a bit of hustle and bustle for this 1,500-metre start. A few hands going out as they try to get to good position. We're seeing Baisha in the all red of the Scotch uniform. He's going nicely in the early stages here. Thompson also, and Caden Murray.
Yeah, so definitely a very rapid heat, this one, as they get going out and about. Caden Murray leading this one in the green.
So they're certainly not mucking around, Noah. So Thompson sitting beautifully into the second position there. Just get on the shoulder of Caden, because Caden will set a fairly relentless pace here in this 1,500 metres. Baisha in good position. Yes, and we have the Knox athlete there in Hall, sitting in 4th. So once again, top 4. Coltish in Melbourne University. I'm used to him in the Geelong Guild strip, but he's looking good in the White Train University, Melbourne Uni kit there. Jack Coltish, and great to have him back on track. But it is Caden Murray leading the group through. They're in one long line. That means the pace is on.
Yes, most definitely really picking that one up now. Murray leading, as you said, Baisha and Hall. A good little battle between those two. Both in pretty good shape.
So it's definitely a faster heat out here. No, Caden Murray going through in 60 seconds, so that's 3:45 pace. And as you can see, the damage is being done on some of these runners as the gaps really start to form. So it's still Murray, Thompson, Baisha, Hall. Coltish in next position, but about to be challenged. And Thompson just sitting in right position there, just going with Murray the whole way. Let's see what that 800-metre split is. So approaching the 800 metres now. Murray still leads from Thompson, Baisha, Hall, then Keeley. So 2:03, I think that was for the 800. So 63-second lap, pace coming off a little bit. And as a result, you're seeing some of the other runners in the chase pack just starting to come through. But Caden Murray still leading the way. Thompson quite content. You know, he's been around the old dog for quite a while and he knows how to run a 1500. So it's good to see Mitch Thompson back out there. He's in perfect position. A little bit of a gap to Baisha, but he does have a strong kick. So too does Hall. And that lead group of 4 are really starting to move away from the field.
Yeah, so a bit more shuffling here. Kate Thompson just can't even say that. Thompson's just got that dog in him. He's going to keep on pushing very, very hard here as we see Baisha and Hall just battling it out again. So collecting the bell brings a bit of energy to everyone.
So it looks like Murray's putting them to the sword a little bit here because that gap, he's led all the way. He's gone through nicely through the 1,200 metres mark. And if anything, probably Hall and Baisha might have the goods to go. Can Thompson just hang in there? They're in pretty safe position, but Lachlan Sheen from Melbourne University is the only man who could break into that top 4. Meeson in next position there, just being passed. He's got Keeley, Coltish, and also from Chilwell, I think that could be Alice.
So a bit more of the afterburner put on there from Hall and Baisha as they start to come around the outside of Thompson. It's going to be a bit of a gritty battle for this top 4. I mean, it's already set, but it's going to be in what order they come through, of course. So Baisha just really pushing strongly towards the finish line. Caden Murray just led this one out from the very beginning and he's really seen himself reap the rewards.
Yeah, so impressive running there from Caden Murray to take the win. Baisha in second. Walking across the line will be Thompson and Hall. They've done enough. Sheen's in next position. We'll have to wait on times. Then it'll be Keeley. I think Hanrahan's in next position with Coltish. Anderson, one of the youngsters, coming through in next position with Meeson. So very good run, Caden Murray. Very impressive. Just taking it on and dishing it up to the competitors there in Heat 2 of 3 of the Men's Open 1500. So 13 starters, Heat 3 of 3, Men's Open 1500 metres. Let's introduce our field. In Station 1, representing Keelos and Bernards, Patrick Matthews. From Deakin in Station 2, Oliver Bradshaw. Station 3, we welcome from Queensland, Ben Tacey. Station 4, from Knox, Eden Morgan. Joshua McLeod from Collingwood Harriers takes Station 5. Alongside him from Glen Huntley, Jack Lana in 6. Angus Norman from Yarra Rangers takes Station 7. Station 8 from Mentone, Luay Benaum. Station 9 from VCCL, Michael Ride. Sam Bunnage, Mentone in 10. Tyler Denbauer from Knox takes 11. Evander Scott from Chilwell in 12. And rounding out the field from Athletics Southwest, Ashley Ferguson, Station 13. So McLeod just pushing forward. Matthews also trying to go with him. Lana in good position. The blonde locks there of Angus Norman also looking very impressive as they all start to settle down. The Knox runner, Denbauer, just drifting across and settling at the rear of the field. But Matthews looks like he's going to take the lead. The Queenslander there, Tacey, sitting in third position. McLeod up present and going nicely early on. Yeah,
Patrick Matthews leading this one out now. Very congested little pack as they get going there. The whole field moving as one at this point. So Ben Stacey in third, Josh McLeod in two, and in one, Pat Matthews.
So good running here from young Benayoum from Mentone, just sitting nicely behind the taller figure of Bradshaw as they come through. Just loving the hair colour there of Norman as they come through. Get a fix on the opening lap. So around 62 opening lap there for our field. So not quite as quick as Caden Murray's opening lap, but we're seeing Paddy Matthews just setting a decent pace here. And this is making for a very competitive run. As you see, just a little bit of a move. Evander Scott, probably one of our event favourites here. He's just moving himself into fourth position and into a safe position there. He'll just cover this field early, but Scott's having a great season once again. And you're just seeing Evander not doing too much work in the mid stages. Yeah, as Paddy Matthews continues to lead the way.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's the pace really picks up there. Now 2 laps to go. We're going to see that 800-metre split in just a moment. We're really starting to see the boys just continue to fight for their position, but also kind of conserve their energy as plenty more is to come. It's going to be a very quick 800 here.
So around the 2:08 mark as they go through, so probably a 65, 66 second lap there. So pace coming off, and as a result, what we're seeing is that field is really starting to come together. Michael Ride in the red uniform of VCCL now becoming a bit of a player in that lead bunch. And we see Jack Lana also in good position. As a few gaps is just starting to form at the rear of the field. But Scott now sitting in third position. Matthews now being challenged by McLeod. And you watch Scott. He'll just go with that move. Also, Bunnage looking good. And the Queenslander still in contention here. But a lead group of 6. Little bit of a gap there to Lana. He's just got to try and hold on. Ferguson the same there. And Ben AM as they hit the bell.
So picking up that bell now, Bunnage making the strike to try and get himself up into that third position, which he's done effortlessly. Will he take another as they go around? McLeod continues to lead this one. Looking to be a very, very nice finish ahead of us.
Good move there by Bunnage to get himself right in contention. Top 3 looking good. Matthews now trying to get back into that fourth position, going ahead of a Ride. And Lana now, he could potentially try and run himself into this final. But out front there, we have a little bit of a change in leaders. Once again, it is now Evander Scott, probably for mine, the race favourite for this event. Bunnage is moving beautifully. McLeod's with him. Then it is Matthews, Ride. And as I said, it looks like the Queensland has got a big run here. And Lana's coming home strong. There's nothing still going here in this one. So Scott trying to control the pace. Lana and also Tacey coming home strong. Lana for mine's going to come right through. So will the Queenslander. What a run from Jack Lana. Tacey also making it through as an auto qualifier. Bunnage will have to wait on time, but it was a fast finish there, right in the same boat. Great run from Ben AM, the junior from Mentone. Ferguson in next position. And then Norman. Next one through will be Bradshaw. Denboa will come through. But, gee, that was an exciting final 100 metres, Noah. It really changed the landscape of that final as we saw a few of the juniors and the Queenslander come through to stake their claims for the final.
Yeah, most definitely. It's always great when the boys get 6 wide down into the last 10 metres of the race and really show what's going on. So it's going to be good to see those results as they come through the results sub. See those positions and progressions, of course.
So that's a wrap on the track action. We will have the presentation